Hello YouTube family, my name is Aditya and you are watching the DevOps Guy. In the last session we have discussed about the ACL, and in this video I will cover the theory part of the user management and we will do the lab in the second video of this series. So in Linux, basic user management involves primarily three components, and these are create, modify and delete the user account. Every file in Linux is owned by a user which has access and control over it. System files are owned by root user. Here are some commands that we use in the user management Linux. First is user mode. It modifies the attribute of an existing user account, such as changing their home directory. Second is user del. Deletes an existing user account from the system. Third is add user. Creates a new user home directory and everything they need to log in except their password. Followed by passwd. It changes the user password or password aging policy for user account. And followed by group add. It creates a new group. There are few directories and files which hold the user and group related information. The first is /home. It is the user's own home directory, followed by etc shell, the default initialization file for the login shell. Next is etc shell. It stores the login shell information. Next is etc passwd. This file responsible to store the password related information of the user, followed by etc group. It stores the group information to which user belongs. Next is etc shadow. The file stores the user password in encrypted format, followed by etc gshadow. This file stores the group password in encrypted format. And the last is etc login.def. It holds the default login definition for user. Next is who. It helps you to list the logged in users, or in simple word, it will list the users who have successfully signed in the system with the valid credentials. The output will look like this. The first column displays you the login name of the user. Second column will show you the terminal session, whereas third and fourth column are used to represent date and time, and the fifth column will give you the IP session. Next command helps to inspect the history of successful logins. The command is last. This command reports the history of successful user login attempts and system reboot. Here the output look like this, followed by the passwd file. The passwd file is a simple plain text, but it contains vital user login data. Each row in the file holds information of one user account. There are total 7 columns separated by fields. Here the first column stores the user information like login name. Second column stores the password, and if it is X, it means the password is encrypted and stored in the /etc/shadow file. Followed by the third column, which is for user ID, and fourth column is for default group ID. Fifth column stores the comments that you pass while making a user. Sixth column stores the home directory of a user. In our case, it is /root. And the last is login shell, which is bin bash. Next is shadow file. RHEL has secure password control mechanism in place that provide an advanced level of password security for the local users. This control is referred as the shadow password. This file holds total 9 columns, where first column is contain the login information. Second, store the password in encrypted format. Third field store the information of password when it was last modified. Fourth field, it expresses the minimum number of days that must be elapsed before the user is allowed to change their password. Similarly, fifth field is for the maximum days. It defines the maximum number of days of password validity before the user password expires. Sixth field is for the warning. It denotes the number of days for which the user gets warning for changing their password before it actually expires. Followed by the seventh field, password expiry. It contains the maximum allowable number of days for the user to be able to log in with the expired password. Next field is account expiry. It determines the number of days since the user account will expire and no longer be available. The last field is reserved. It reserved for the future users. Next is the group file. Every user on the system must be a member of at least one group. One group can have more than one user. The file location is /etc/group. You can set password on the group if you want non-member to be able to change their group identity temporarily using the new grp command. The group file has total 4 fields. First is for group name, second the password, third is the GID of group, which is a group ID, and fourth is for the group members. And the encrypted password of the group is stored in the gshadow file. The file path is /etc/gshadow. This file has 4 columns, where the first column is for the group name, second column is for encrypted password. If you get the exclamation mark, it means your password is being encrypted. Third column stores the group admin information, and the last column stores the group members information. So this was the theory part of the basic user management. In our next session, we will cover the lab. Meanwhile, go through my other playlist, do practice and ask your doubts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.